I'm Andy Walters with Z-Turf Equipment Manufacturing. Today we'd like to discuss all the new changes that make the new ZSX Z-Spray so much better than what it was before. One of the first things we did on the new Z-Spray was we removed the rate dial and rate dial holder from the front of the machine where it was vulnerable. Now we've moved all that up to the operator's position. He no longer has to get off the machine to walk around. He can easily adjust his rate from the operator controls. So the next thing we did is we also made our hopper capacity larger. We went from 220 pounds to 250 pounds of granular product. With that extra product, we were even able to lower the hopper so that we have better visibility and we've got better center of gravity. We moved the fuel tank behind the knee pad, makes it more accessible for the operator, and it allowed us to get this spreader back to where we don't have any weight out in front of our casters. This made the machine much easier to drive, and again, much more visibility over the top of the spreader. So the new 250-pound hopper has got a new designed hopper cover. They used to blow off. We now have a strip on the front, so if you're on the interstate, it holds on very well, keeping you from losing that hopper cover. This comes in really nice when you're in the neighborhood. You can just put the hopper cover on easily, but if you're getting ready to get on the interstate with an open trailer, you can easily fasten the new hopper cover, which is going to stop that from blowing off. Another one of the big changes is by going to an electric hopper motor, we were able to get inside of the hopper and completely cover that so we don't have fertilizer getting on that all the time. The new electric hopper motor has allowed us to have fine tuning of your spread width. It's not like the old hydraulic spreader where when it was cold in the morning, it would spread slow. Now if you put it at a 6, it's going to stay at a 6. So the inside of the hopper is now very slick. It allows our product to flow nicely. We won't have the product sticking on the sides of the walls as easily. And then we have a one-piece design screen that makes it very good at keeping clumps out of the bottom of the hopper. One of the best things we did to the new Z-Spray is the flip-up hopper design. Not only does it allow you to clean the hopper out weekly or whenever you'd like to, it gives you a ton of accessibility to the rest of the machine. Okay, so some of the other things that we did on the new machine is we made maintenance much easier. The impeller can easily be moved with a clip and a pin, and you can get right to the bearing on the bottom of the hopper with no tools whatsoever and slide it off. So the new spreader, we went to hard linkage. This stopped us from using cables. The cables gave us a lot of inconsistencies. With the hard linkage, you get the same positive pull each time, much better durability, and just a much more positive pull. So the rate dial we talked about before, that rate dial is moved up here to the top. This allows us to change from the operator's position any rate of product we want without having to get off the machine and come around to the front. The new controls for the spreader are right at your hand, and so it's easy to raise and lower your side deflector, change rate of product, open and close the spreader, or adjust the pattern for heavy left, heavy right conditions. The old style boom used to only break away backwards. Now we've designed it to where if you back into something, it will also break away forward. This is going to stop the machine from getting damage. The new center section of the boom is a heavier gauge steel. It's reinforced and much more durable. So on the new Z-Spray, we raised the numbers on the side of it so they're for a lifetime of use. We removed all the grommets from the tanks. You no longer have the hose rail mounted to the tank. You no longer have grommets in the bottoms of the tank. You only have 2 bolts that hold the entire tank on. By getting rid of all these grommets, we allowed ourselves to get rid of possible leak points. With the new tank design on the new Z-Spray, we also moved the return. The return is now moved closer to the back of the tank. It actually will clean off the bottom of the tank, keeping all of our products suspended nicely. You can also see how low the center of gravity is. This tank has dropped much lower than what it was before, and this is on the Z-Max with the 30-gallon tank. Some of the things we did to the new spray system. The 5.3 gallon per minute pump is now mounted lower than our tanks, so we get prime quickly. We're also running through a new, larger filter. It's got a drain on the bottom and an O-ring seal. We're able to pull from left tank, suction on left and return to left, and we can leave the right tank off, or we could pull from both tanks at the same time and return to both tanks at the same time. So also we've improved our foot switch. We used to have a foot switch with moving parts inside. Now we have a proximity sensor, very durable stainless steel. It can be moved to 3 different locations depending on operator's presence. You can turn on the spray system with a foot button, or you can turn it on with the rocker switch up on top. So the operator controls for the spray system on the Z-Spray are similar as before. The regulator can increase and decrease your pressure. The manifold here is going to control your left boom tip, your center boom tips, and then your right boom tip. Or if we'd like to run our hose reel, we can run this valve here, which is going to make our hose reel active. So when you're calibrating a machine, we like to make it very easy. And the 3 things that you need to know when you're calibrating a machine is speed, pressure, and tip size. We give you all 3 of these things to make it easy to calibrate your machine with the calibration chart on the back of the knee pad. You can easily see the nozzle that you're using. You can go to the speed and to the pressure, and it'll get you the exact gallon per acre or gallons per thousand that you're trying to achieve. If we want to go with the industry standard 15 gallons per acre, then we would easily go at 5 miles an hour at 40 PSI with the lavender tip that comes stock on the Z-Spray. Some of the things we did to make the operator experience better and comfort is we added a new bolstered knee pad, has bolstering on the sides. Of all the feedback we got from customers, they wanted this to be longer so their knees would hit it in an appropriate area. So we made it longer, and it's also adjustable. The knee pad is also held down with magnets now, as opposed to the Velcro we used before. And you can see how you've got the adjustability on the back of the knee pad to raise or lower this to your preference. The new foot plate design allows an operator to custom tailor the design to their size. They can remove the rubber dampeners underneath, or they can move them to 3 different locations. We also moved the patented locking caster system for the Z-Spray from the center pedal over to the right. This makes it much easier to stand on the machine and activate the locking caster system. With the new Hydrogear 5400s, we have a much improved park brake. It's an integrated park brake that actually works internally in the wheel motor. It also stops your joysticks from being able to be controlled when the park brake is on. Our speedometer is going to keep track of how fast we're going. Distance traveled, 0.60 miles. It's 1:37 time of day, 71 degrees. Total time, you can reset this stopwatch, and also voltage of the machine, 12.5 volts. So the new rear boxes have been designed where they can be easily removed to add accessories like foam markers, auxiliary tanks, 7-gallon isolated tanks, but the main purpose is for them to hold 2 additional 50-pound bags of product, giving your machine a total of 350 pounds of granular capacity. All right, so now we'd like to talk about ease of maintenance and accessibility on the new machine. The hopper flips up so easily. This allows you to have access for oil changes, air filter cleanouts, blowing the machine off. You can easily get to the valves on the engine for adjustment, everything that you would possibly need to do inside of the machine. So the new ZXS 5260 and 4640 all come with a 21 horsepower Vanguard engine, 50 amp charging system, so we no longer are in need of an alternator to run all the extra accessories. It comes with an oil cooler, a Donaldson air filter, and we also made it very easy to service and maintain the engine. So accessibility to the new battery is really nice. Easily take the cover off. You can clean around this, and very easy to maintain. So the performance of the new Z-Spray is faster than it's ever been. We've got a 24-inch tire, Hydrogear 5400 transmissions. That allows this machine to go 10 miles an hour. The comfort that we get with these larger drive tires has made our applicators actually request that we go up to 6 miles an hour in ground speed now, as it's much easier to ride this machine on rougher properties. The Hydrogear 5400 transmissions are fan cooled. They have separate filters on them. It stops any cross-contamination if you ever have transmission problems. One of the big design changes on the new Z-Spray was removing that fuel tank. By removing that fuel tank, we got a lot of the weight behind our caster wheels. This allows the machine to run much easier on hills, center of gravity is lower, and it's more balanced. The reason we were able to move the spreader back is that fuel tank's gone. The fuel tank went behind the machine. By removing more than a dozen hydraulic hoses with more than 24 connections, we cleaned up the area underneath the knee pad, and now we're able to run our fuel tank with fuel gauge and also keep the weight right between the drive wheels and low for better center of gravity. So with the new wiring harness and easy to get to fuse panel, we were able to make the wiring harness to where it has connectors throughout the machine to add or remove those accessories. The new ZSX models have a multitude of accessories. Two of our most popular is the 2-gallon foam marker that we have here, and we also have a 7-gallon isolated tank. Also, this 7-gallon isolated tank has a 5.3 gallon per minute pump. It has its own pressure gauge, its own regulator, and its own strainer. So it's its own self-contained little isolated tank. So with the 2-gallon foam marker, that's gonna drop foam off both ends of our boom, showing us exactly where we've been. On certain lawns, when it's dormant, it's hard to see where your tires have been. If we've got a foam marker on the machine, all we do is hit the rocker switch on the dashboard. We're gonna drop foam off both ends of the spray boom. The 75-foot hose reel has been moved from off the top of the tank where we had it bolted with grommets. Now it is rigidly mounted to the frame, so we're gonna get a much longer service life out of this hose reel. Thank you for taking the time to learn about the ZXS Z-Spray. To learn more, please visit www.zturfequipment.com.